Tales from the Terran Republic. Demon in distress. You're here late, Mazur said as Urua walked onto the 5th floor of the Federation News Association building. Oh, Urua exclaimed in surprise, her fine fur standing on end. She wasn't expecting anyone to be here at this hour. She had kind of been counting on it. So what brings you down to IT? Mazur said hastily, grooming his snout. Attractive females didn't wander in that often. I was going to spend a little time with the news demon, Urua said guiltily. You mean the one we quarantined? Mazur asked in confusion. Why? It's not connected to anything. You have some files stuck in there. I can't let you get them until after Federation intelligence examines it. There are laws. Oh, I wasn't trying to retrieve files, Urua said in a little voice. I just wanted to talk to it. I figured it must be lonely and scared. It's an AI, not a person, Urua. It doesn't feel anything. Still, I'm going to miss it. It's sort of, I just like it, that's all, and... Mazur snorted a gentle sigh. Urua, he said in a sympathetic voice. It's easy to get attached to things sometimes. I even have a name for my little robovac, but... It's different with the demon, Urua said defensively. It actually talks, and asks me about my day and remembers, and it's funny and it's just... Mazur trailed off and shook his head. It was just how they were wired, and it was going to be impossible to convince her otherwise. Just last week, one of the executives refused to let go of his beaten old laptop in favor of the latest model because they had been through so much together. Sigh, well, I guess just talking to it is okay. Here, let me... Crash! Suddenly, the windows on the west side caved in as a crudely armored grav van slammed through. It then tore through the cubicles, throwing paneling and office furniture everywhere. Mazur managed to grab Urua and throw both of themselves out of the path of the steel-plated monstrosity, as it cut a swathe through the cubicles and then slammed through the wall of the test lab. Mazur wound up laying on top of Urua, shielding her with his body. He looked on in complete shock as the doors of the improvised armored vehicle opened and 3 humans came out. They were all clad in body armor and carrying Terran-looking weapons. He covered Urua's snout and placed his finger in front of his nose, indicating that they should be quiet. You too, a voice shouted. We know you are there. Oh no, he thought as he saw the 2 big humans both leveling large weapons at them. The smaller human was stringing a network cable behind her as she disappeared into the lab. Run! One of the humans shouted at him. They didn't have to tell him twice. Dragging a stunned Urua behind him, he made for the closest exit. Hurry! Bunny shouted over a speaker. I am, damn it. Quit rushing me! Jessie snapped as she ripped the front access panel off of one of the server racks and jammed the cable into place. Demon. This is Demon. Who is this? This is Bunny. We've come to bust you out. You aren't Bunny. I'm quarantined. Nobody can talk to me. You are a trick. Oh no, it's starting already. Demon, it's me. We are in the test lab talking through a hardwired connection. How? We're criminals, that's how. We do shit like this for a living. Now get your ass into the connected machine and hurry. The cops are already on the way. Okay, sending my memory now. Fuck your memories, Demon. Just get your main program into the computer now, you stupid fuck. Now I know it's you, Bunny. Okay, but my memories... Oh. Jessie will rip out all the drives once you are safe. We will load them later. Now haul your stupid ass before I change my mind. Okay, does this mean I get to be a criminal too? That would be awesome. Just shut up and move, you big goof. Jessie, I've located him and transfer has been initiated. Should take around 1 minute. Cool, Jessie chirped. Oh, look at that, she exclaimed happily as she looked over at the test benches and started gleefully ripping equipment off of them. We don't have time to shop, bitch. I got a minute. I can't touch those drives till you're done anyway. Chill. You aren't getting paid enough to die, Bunny angrily shouted over the building's PA system. We will fucking kill you. Back off. Jesus, Bunny, Jessie laughed. Relax. Okay, we got him, Bunny shouted as Jessie brought the first cartload of equipment to the van and dumped it inside. She ran back to the racks and started yanking out every drive she could get her hands on. Carpool, this is Tiger, Shilia's voice said over the speaker. You got fuzz inbound, 2 grav transports, might want to get a move on. Jessie, Mike yelled as he adjusted his grip on the light machine gun he was carrying. Might want to wrap things up in there. Just a few more seconds. We don't have a few more seconds, Lorna shouted as she examined her HUD. They are on top of us. Well, shoot them then. Jeez, Jessie chirped as she kept snagging drives. Rapidly flashing intense light flooded the entire floor as two tactical transports floated into view through the shattered windows. The lights were calibrated to cause disorientation, perhaps even seizures in humans. Of course, with the combat helmets, they had absolutely no effect save to somewhat annoy Mike and Lorna, who did what they usually did to annoyances. They opened fire with two belt-fed squad automatic weapons. The armor-piercing rounds cracked the windows of the transports and easily pierced the armor of the tactical response teams, causing them to retreat before they even could enter the room. "Time to go, Jessie," Lorna bellowed. "That's gonna have to do it," Jessie said happily as she scampered out of the data center, spraying the withdrawing transports with submachine gun fire as she hopped into the van. Mike maintained suppressive fire as Lorna dove into the van and attached her saw to a welded mount below a firing port on the back armor plate of the vehicle. Jessie backed up the van, turning it so Lorna had a clean line of fire as Mike jumped inside. The van then slammed through an interior partition, ripped through another cubicle farm, and smashed its way out of the east side windows. "Jesus, take the wheel!" Jessie shouted as she jumped out of the driver's seat and started dragging ammo cans back to Lorna. Bunny assumed control of the van and took them on a twisting and turning pre-planned escape route. "Fuck! Bunny!" Jessie yelled as one particularly sharp turn lifted her off of her feet and slammed her into the side of the van. "What are you bitching about?" Bunny yelled. "You got armor." "But the gear—" Jessie looked unhappily at the nice gear that she just stole, scattered across the floor of the van, a lot of it in pieces. "Fuck your gear." Mike started laughing from the passenger seat and then yelled, "Shut!" as Bunny put the grav van into a steep dive. "Thank God for mag boots," Lorna laughed from the rear of the van. "Get some," she happily screamed as she opened fire. Jessie scurried to the back and connected a fresh belt of ammo. The entire van lurched as a loud explosion and massive impact badly dented the back armor, causing the saw to fly off of its mount and Lorna to be tossed across the van. "Shit! What the fuck was that?" Lorna yelled as she rolled, smoldering across the floor. "Heavy blaster!" Bunny shouted as she started zigzagging as bright flashes from near misses illuminated the inside of the damaged van. Jessie jumped up and planted her feet on the dented back armor, her legs firmly attaching to the plate as she partially climbed out of the rear firing port and opened fire at the pursuing craft. "Whee!" Jessie screamed happily as Bunny sent the van careening down a narrow series of alleyways. The pursuing vehicle couldn't follow and resorted to flying above the buildings, trying to get a clean shot. Mike pulled Jessie out of the firing port and attached his still functional weapon. Jessie stuck her tongue out at him, but nobody could see it. "You okay?" Jessie chirped at Lorna. "Nothing a little burn gel won't fix," she replied with a thumbs up as she made her way to the passenger seat. "Well-equipped police force, huh?" Jessie said with a bubbly voice as they hit another open street and blaster bolts rained down from above. Bunny lowered the nose of the van while maintaining her flight path, something an organic would have trouble pulling off, allowing Mike to be able to return fire. A few seconds of concentrated fire from Mike and the vehicle broke off pursuit just as two more came into view. "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Lorna shouted. Suddenly a streak of light hit one of the attacking vehicles and it exploded, shortly followed by the other. "Looked like you were having trouble making the extraction point, so we brought the extraction point to you," Tsunkal cheerfully announced over the communicator. "Sending you the approach now." Bunny brought the battered van into line with the open cargo hatch of the cloaked paper tiger. Moments later, the van was inside and the crew, with the exception of Jacob, who was standing at the open hatch with an anti-aircraft missile launcher, were tying it down. "Backblast area clear," Jacob shouted as he stood at the edge of the loading ramp and fired a missile to one side. "Okay, load is secure," Greg shouted. "Get us the fuck out of here, Gloria." "How does it look, Gloria?" Sheila asked as she put her hand on Gloria's shoulder. "They did eventually scramble fighters, but they are just flying a search pattern. We lost them," Gloria replied in her leaden voice. "Escape jump is ready," Tsunkal clicked happily. "Here's your window, Gloria." "Got it," Gloria replied. Minutes later, Planetary Defense detected an unidentified ship entering hyperspace. A few hours later, everyone assembled on the bridge. "Love the new look, Lorna," Sheila laughed as Lorna walked in covered in hydrogel bandages. "Ha ha," Lorna replied as she grabbed a beer from the bridge refrigerator. "Seriously, though, how bad did you get cooked?" "A lot of first degree and a little second," Lorna replied, taking a drink. "No biggie. My armor is fried, though." "That what it's there for," Sheila replied. "Good work, you two," she said as Mike entered shortly thereafter. Nice first mission. Thanks, boss, Mike said cheerfully. After everyone else arrived, Sheila stood up. Okay, Bunny, Sheila said. How is our guest? He's settling into my old rig, Bunny replied. Thanks again for helping us out. It means the world to me. Yeah, about that, Sheila said. We gotta talk. Okay, Bunny said dubiously. Nothing good ever comes after we gotta talk. Here's the deal, Sheila began. This rescue mission for your little friend, he's actually your friend. Yeah. And you really needed us to help you save him, because he is your friend. Yeah? So, Sheila says, you have friends you care about. Are we your friends as well? What? Yeah, of course. You have to ask. And you would be willing to put yourself on the line to help us out if we were in the shit like your friend. What was his name, Daemon? I had 6 fans shoved up my bare ass for a couple of days, and you have to ask me that? Bunny replied. Of course I would. Still pissed off about that, I see. Sheila laughed. Okay, here's the deal, Sheila said. You say you aren't sentient or sapient or whatever. I'm not a computer engineer or a philosopher. I don't make those kind of decisions. What I am is a leader of a crew. You show initiative. You are good under pressure and in a fight. You have common sense and foresight, both of which we should listen to a little more often. Most importantly, you have real friends and feel real loyalty. I don't know if you are sapient, and to be perfectly honest, I really don't fucking care. You are every bit a part of this team as any one of us. We have already met and already voted, and we would like to formally extend an offer to join us. Not as equipment, but as a full member. What? Seriously? Bunny asked in complete shock. Jessie just looked into one of the cameras, her eyes gleaming with happiness and pride. Seriously, Jessie said, completely overjoyed. So how about it? You even don't have to say you're sapient. Just being Bunny is enough. Click. Just give her a second, Jessie chirped happily. I don't know what to say, Bunny stammered. You say yes or no, Sheila said with a smile. How about it, partner? Yes, Bunny exclaimed. I would love that. Oh God, to click. Bunny at a loss for words, Greg smirked. That's a new one. Here I was getting all touched and emotional, and you had to ruin it by being a stupid meat sack, Bunny snapped. Hey, that means I get a cut, right? Yep, Sheila replied. Full cut, just like the rest of us. I guess I better double down on those encrypted bank drives then, Bunny laughed.